Hi, and welcome to Coffee with Dogs. I'm Susan Ellen Medium. I'm an evidential psychic medium and animal communicator. This podcast is a place to share insights into the spirit world and soulful stories of animals and what they can teach us about a life aligned with love. So grab your mug and let's dive into some magic together. Hey, Maria, thank you for being here.
Hey, Susan, thank you for having me. Now, Susan, why do pets seem to show up more when we're going through a hard time?
Oh, well, I love that question and thank you. It's a really important time in our lives, and it's not the time to figure out how to get rid of your pet. When you're struggling, when your landlord wants you to get rid of your pet, there are ways to keep your pet. And don't immediately say, oh my God, I'm barely paying my bills, and now my landlord wants to evict me because I have a pet. There are ways to be able to keep your pet. And I'm happy to tell you if you needed to reach out. I'll put a list together of what to do. But the interesting thing is that when life is hard and you want to figure out how to bring your pet, and I don't know if this is even my audience that I'm addressing, but maybe you can help another individual, how to keep their pet. Because I remember going to the animal shelter and having unopened food and dropping it off and all kinds of things after my cat died. And I said to them, can you use this? And they said, yes, we would donate this to somebody that is struggling financially, that is trying to bring their animal to the shelter. They would give my cat food to a struggling pet parent that can't afford pet food. And that made me feel really good that a shelter would do that because they're trying everything to keep the pets out of the shelter.
Mhm.
Um, so this is the other thing is when you feel your worst, this is when you kind of should hold on to your pet. I say that kind of should. You should hold on to your pet because they are angelic beings to get you through a very, very difficult time. And when I remember I talked to my literal spiritual teacher in the UK, his partner was passing and he was trying to rehome his dog because he felt like he doesn't contribute enough to this animal's life. He doesn't walk him enough. And I go, please do not do that. If you think that by getting rid of your pet while your partner is crossing to the spirit world is going to be easy on you, wait till you feel how empty the house is going to be because now you're losing two energy centers. Because even if your partner, like, this is a crazy thing, the energy is still with you, even if your partner's in a hospital bed and hospice in your living room, the energy is there, just like a pet. The energetic presence is what you're going to have a hard time letting go of. Does that make sense?
That makes so much
So
sense.
you want to keep your pet even if you're going through a hard time. Get the help you need, reach out. There's rescues that can help you with training. There's so many places. I remember when I had a favorite medium once. I didn't know I was a medium when I was seeing that medium. And I think I was doing animal communication. So I wasn't really thinking I'm a medium, like an evidential psychic medium, but I was just doing my animal work. And that was very evidential. But he did reach out to me, and there was a tragic time in his house where I'm not going to get into the details, but he did reach out to me, and I was able to get a rescue to rehabilitate one of the dogs in his household. So it didn't, so it could become a service dog and it could stop aggression. And I really was blessed with this rescue that they did all that for him. And it wasn't even my dog, but I knew that he needed the help. So I got him the help that he needed. So there is help out there just not like rescues have amazing dog trainers, rescue groups. So if you have like a German Shepherd or a Rottweiler, you can actually reach out to that particular specialty rescue and say, look, I really don't want to give my dog up. I love my German Shepherd. I love my Rottweiler. I love my French Bulldog. But do you have any resources that can help me get pet training or food or a dog walker while I'm at work? They usually have amazing resources. It would be helpful also to find one in your city.
Wow.
Yeah, it would be really helpful to do that.
Thank goodness that there's resources like that. Now, is it a coincidence or they actually start sensing something deeper?
It isn't coincidence. I do think they sense something deeper with us, and they may show more neediness. Like I had an animal communication with a woman and her husband. I think I spoke about this in the last episode or 2 episodes ago, where the dog was super, super anxious because he witnessed the husband fainting and an ambulance taking the husband away. And then he had to be taken home by a neighbor that saw the whole incident. So this dog was super anxious and he needed to just calm down and know that this would never happen again. And it won't, because now the man is like, I'm not going to walk without having my minerals, or I'm not going to walk without eating breakfast, or, that kind of thing. And the dog immediately calmed down during the reading. So they do sense when we're having a really hard time or we're in super hyper need. They sense it.
Wow. So, how is it that these animals do pick up on the emotions so quickly?
Because they're connected to our heart center. And
Mm.
this is why we have these dogs that can sense cancer or can sense a seizure, or it's pretty remarkable how connected they are to our heart
Mhm.
center and how they know what we need. And they're kind of like talk about sensitivity, you know, um, they have senses that are so profound. They can feel everything in our environment. I mean, I think, did I just talk to somebody or I read it somewhere? I think I talked to somebody about this at lunch yesterday. One of my clients I went to lunch with, she's moving out of California back to Manhattan. And she said that this amazing dog had his head on, and he was crying on a pregnancy belly, like the woman was about to give birth, but the heartbeat stopped and the dog knew, and he was crying and put his head on the belly.
Oh.
So that was a very, very difficult time, but that's how connected our animals are to us and our body and our physicality.
So, pets can feel things that we haven't even consciously processed yet.
Yeah, she didn't process it. This pregnant girl, my client was telling me, was that she thought, oh, the baby's not moving as much yesterday. And so she made an appointment to see the doctor the following day. But it was that night that the dog was crying, moaning and
Mm.
crying, put his head on her belly. And it was way before she even got the notice that the baby's heartbeat stopped. And she was like 2 weeks away from giving birth. It was like the most amazing thing. And God, the saddest thing for this young couple,
Mm.
but maybe a blessing. Like some of these hard lessons or these hard things that we go through are really angelic blessings that,
Mhm.
it's a knowing sometimes of, well, I don't want to go to that appointment today. I'm not saying like most of us can do that, but we have to show up for things that we're committed to. But there's like a knowing, well, maybe I can change that appointment time. Maybe I could make it another day. There's always ideas that that spirit will give us. And we need to just pay attention.
Absolutely. Now, we've all had that moment where our pet just comes and sits with us. What's happening energetically in that moment?
I think he or she is trading energy with us. And there are times like I loved when I had a cat. I miss having a cat. I'm just traveling too much now. Dogs I can bring everywhere. I need to find it. If anybody's got a cat that would just like be chill and go places with me, let me know. Um, that they know about. But I think my husband will kill me for saying that. But we had this amazing cat and he was very feral. But when I would meditate, when I would go high enough in my meditation, he would jump on my lap, sit, and purr. And I was mostly in spirit, but still here. And I'd go, oh, okay, that's where I need to be. That's the vibration I need to have. And that's where I need to be. And it was like clockwork in the morning when I got to that higher place that that cat would do that.
If I may, that just goes to show that they're on that angelic high frequency.
Mhm.
Wow. Now, why do they sometimes follow us around more when we're struggling?
I think pets just follow us around just because they want to follow us around. But when we're struggling, it's interesting. Like when I had Rosie and I came home from the hospital on a walker, she communicated with me like, I'll protect you. And she would walk me down the hall and stay next to me
Mm.
like, as if she had to protect me. I remember when I was in my 20s and my mother was very ill, and I would walk in New York with her because she liked to shop and walk around when she could. I felt very protective of my mother. Like, don't anybody bang into her. She's too fragile. Like,
Mhm.
I just felt like that same way that I felt Rosie had me. I felt that way towards my own mom. So I
Mm.
always would say, I think Rosie's like my mom, you know?
Now, do you believe pets choose us partly to support us emotionally?
Well, it's a soul contract for sure.
Mm.
So in my readings and what I have seen, they it's a soul family that we travel with. So generally speaking, like your pet that crosses over, unless they are asked to come back, um, and you could ask them to come back and reincarnate,
Mm.
and then, but if they don't, or if they aren't asked and they don't reincarnate, they stay and wait for everybody in their soul family to cross, and then you generally, when I say generally, it's what I've seen and hear and feel, you all incarnate together, but the relationships are completely different. Like Rosie might be my husband in the next life, and my husband might be Rosie in the next life. My husband might be my dog in the next life. I mean, we don't know what the extent of soul families, how they travel together. But it's a lineage and it's a soul family. And you all reincarnate together. And I know there are people out there that will go, I don't want to ever see my mother again. Well, it's called karma.
Yeah.
And if there's karma and you had like this awful mother in a past life, the current life, you may be an awful mother to your child. But the child in that life might be your mother from a past life. We have to burn the karma in order to be free. And it's all karmic. Everything in life is a karmic pattern. And you could burn it off a lot quicker by doing some spiritual work, but
Mhm.
we do have karma that we need to burn off.
Now, is being an anchor something they're aware of that they're doing, the
Being,
animals? When being an anchor.
oh, anchor for us
Uh-huh.
here. I mean, to anchor us down. They they are divine beings and are divinely present in our life to teach us something that we don't know. And it's mostly unconscious. What we
Mm,
don't know is unconscious. And they come in as a sacred divine being to elevate us on a deeper level.
mm,
And so I've had people like come to me, and the pet loss is so heavy duty. Um, and they don't know the reason why. I've had this before. And it's generally speaking because that pet came back into your life for a reason. And we don't know all of it. I mean, some of it comes through in the readings, and sometimes most of it for me. But you can't try to figure it out.
mm.
I try to figure it out, but I feel like it's kind of a waste of time. We could pray about it and meditate.
Mm, yeah. Can our pets actually help regulate our energy or calm our nervous system?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been so proven. We find this a lot in cats that their purring regulates
Mm,
our heart. It's very relevant. And a lot of dog people will tell me this, or horses. This whole thing was started with horses. So horses are
mm,
healers, and they can regulate us, the larger animals, the whales, the rhinoceroses, the elephants, the horses. Cows even can regulate because their vibration is so big past their bodies that they can calm the nervous system of anything in their presence and beyond. That's why whales are so important, because they balance the planet.
oh, that's so beautiful. Now, how can someone become more aware of the support their pet is already giving them?
I think sitting in the quiet is really important. And I've taught this before, that sitting with your own feelings without trying to fix the feelings, with trying to change your vibration. It's changeable if you can get quiet and sit with it. Because sometimes when we're having a terrible day, we can't get clear of it unless we sit with it. Like, what does this feel like? What am I? That's kind of how pet communication starts. Is like sitting with the feelings that kind of suck, and you want to get through them really fast, but you have to sit with them in order to clear them and heal them. You do.
Mm-hmm.
Did that even answer the question?
It did, and I actually agree with it. I do. It's
Good.
really true. Sitting in our stillness. Now,
Yes.
if someone is feeling overwhelmed right now, what would their pet want them to know in this very moment?
That they don't leave the person, that they're with the person, that they're steadfast and staying with the person. That's what I really think that they want us to know.
That's really, really nice. Well, thank you, Susan.
Thank
That
you.
concludes our session for today. Now, can you tell people where they can perhaps reach you to get a pet reading or another type of reading from you?
It's always SusanAllenMedium.com. We're on Apple and Spotify. And I love when people rate and review us. So this way it encourages me. And also, if you have any questions, I would love for you to email us at assistant@SusanAllenMedium, or drop me a note in Instagram. Love to hear your questions. Thanks for joining me for another episode with Coffee with Dogs. I'm your host, Susan Ellen Medium, and I would love for you to write and review the podcast wherever you listen. This helps everyone find me. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. From my soul to yours, and from our animals to us all. Until we meet again.